Honorable Men's Discord, Black Inventors. Let's talk about it. All right, so this evening I decided to talk about Black Inventors, obviously, because we're still in February and because I feel like it's necessary to take advantage of this month because this month is a reminder for a reason of the excellence of Black people. Oftentimes, unfortunately for us, we're depicted in the media as less than or as ignorant. And so I felt like it's necessary uh, to just showcase brilliant minds from Black people, Black brilliance. So I felt it was necessary to just highlight that. I was really trying to find some of the well-known inventions from Black people, and I found a couple. I found a couple to highlight. And as I was watching these videos, I'll be honest with you, as I was watching these videos, I said to myself, I never heard of these people before. Never heard about them in high school. Never heard about them in college. And it's it's one of those things that make you realize just how much of a control the media has on giving you information that they want you to see or want you to know. And it's very important that what we learn from this month is that we really need to do our due diligence and do our own research. If you leave it up to what media outlets are going to show you, you're going to find yourself ill informed and you just never going to really know the truth. This is why I know sometimes it seems like it's cliche when people say you have to read, read on your own, do your own research. It is a truth. There's a truth behind that. It's really vital. Excuse me. It's really vital for you to do your own research on all matters. I mean, we have smartphones, we have YouTube, which I have to commend YouTube because if not for YouTube, some of the stuff, well, a lot of the stuff outside of Google wouldn't be preserved and there for you to go out there and do your own research so you can educate yourself on these Black inventors. So let me just start with the first video that I saved. And this is a Black female inventor. And I'll play the video and then I'll speak on this. Let's get into it.
In the heart of New York City, innovation knows no bounds. But behind the scenes, one woman's groundbreaking invention changed the landscape of home security forever. Meet Marie Van Britten Brown, a pioneer in security technology and one of the unsung heroes of the 20th century. In 1966, Marie, alongside her husband, invented the first closed-circuit television system for home security. Her innovative system laid the foundation for modern security surveillance, revolutionizing how we protect our homes and loved ones. Marie Van Britten Brown, a visionary whose legacy continues to inspire generations. Remember her name and remember her impact. In the heart of New York City.
I gotta pause it right there. So they said that she, along with her husband, invented like the very first security systems in 1966, and it's important to pay attention to these years that they say because life is not fair. The game has been rigged. For those of you who follow my channel, you know that that I'm always going to try to keep it down to earth and real. And 1966, this woman invented security systems with her husband. And think of how far along we've gone. We have Ring doorbell cameras everywhere, pretty much. And there's alternatives to Ring. There's other names too. I don't keep up with all the names for that. But when you talk about security systems, home security systems for people that are homeowners. But the crazy thing about how the game has been rigged is that I believe that these inventors were intentionally kept a secret because what happens is They'll invent something, someone else will come along, polish it up a little bit, and then put their name out there as though they invented it, and just disregard the work of these black inventors. And it's just a shame because that was big. That was a major technology that she created with her husband. Major technology. That's something you're talking 1966, and look at where we are now, 2025, and that's still relevant equipment. And again, she started the blueprint, and this is technology that's still being used today. So it's really unfortunate that I've never heard about this woman, but I do like the fact that it was like teamwork. She she created the technology with her husband. But we're gonna move right along.
Meet Garrett Morgan, an African American inventor who changed the world. From the gas mask, saving lives in World War I, to the three-position traffic signal, keeping roads safe for generations. His legacy reminds us innovation knows no boundaries. Like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring stories. Meet Garrett Morgan,
Let me
an
pause that
African
right there.
American inventor who changed the world.
Okay,
From the gas
one
mask.
moment. I had to X that out. So Garrett Morgan, the traffic light. Every time you pull up to a traffic light, just know that it was a black inventor that created that. And the traffic light has never changed. As far as I can remember, the traffic light looks exactly the same. The only thing that has changed on the traffic light is whether or not it's yellow, or they paint in some states you go to, I think the traffic light is painted black, but that's it. But the actual structure of the traffic light has remained. That's a major invention. We can look at it as like, oh, it's just a traffic light, but it's major. It's needed. You take traffic lights out of certain intersections, and it's a bunch of accidents. I mean, you could put stop signs, but who really respects the stop signs? So major invention. Again, a black inventor. Let's get into this next one.
Henry Smith was a black inventor in the late 1800s whose genius threatened the status quo. His contributions should have been celebrated, but instead, he met a tragic and violent end. In post-slavery America, black success was met with resentment. Despite these challenges, Henry's brilliance shone in the field of agricultural innovation. Smith's inventions aimed to improve farming efficiency, helping farmers save time and labor.
I had to pause it right there.
His idea
I had to pause it right there. Could you just imagine how the slave owners must have felt having to see someone who they look down on creating something to make their life easier? It's almost like a slap in the face because they were looking at him as though like, you have nothing to bring to the table. You're my property. So who are you to create something that I don't understand that's supposed to make my life easier? I'm actually surprised that they went the route that they went, because in those times they could have just easily just stole his technology and just said they invented it. But let's continue. I digress.
were seen as a threat by white landowners who feared losing control. One of Henry's groundbreaking inventions, a cotton refining process, drew the attention of local elites. His ingenuity disrupted the economic power of plantation owners. Jealousy and racism brewed. False accusations spread that Henry had committed a crime. The allegations had no evidence, but were enough to seal his fate. In 1893, a white mob abducted Henry. They tortured him in public, making his death a spectacle for thousands. It was a brutal reminder of the dangers of black excellence in America. Henry's murder wasn't about justice. It was about maintaining racial and economic control, silencing a man whose intelligence threatened white supremacy. Henry Smith's story is a chilling example of how systemic racism stifled black progress. His name may be forgotten by many, but his legacy as a symbol of resilience and innovation lives on. We must honor geniuses like Henry and ensure their stories, though tragic, are not lost to history. Henry Smith.
Henry Smith. Uh, I don't know about you all, but when I hear stories like this, it sounds too similar to some of the stuff that's been going on throughout the course of time. Um, this is why, sometimes when people come to me from different events that happen throughout time, and people come to me with conspiracy theories, I don't necessarily disagree with the possibility of certain theories, but then it's hard to know what's real and what's not, because in all honesty, like I said before, the game is rigged. The game has never been fair. But it's like when black leaders, innovators, musicians, when they disappear, get us quote unquote assassinated, or they overdose, all those scenarios remind me of this story of Henry Smith. You know, um, Prince. Prince was trying to own, I believe, his masters or something of a big deal to the record label. Prince was trying to own. Prince ends up dead in his house. Michael Jackson, we know he owned the Beatles catalog. Michael Jackson ends up dead from the situation with the doctor, where the doctor helped him go to sleep with medication and he just never woke up. But like, just stories after stories sound too similar to Henry Smith. It just seems like, even we could talk about Malcolm, we could talk about Martin Luther King, we could talk about Sam Cooke. I mean, the list goes on and on. When blacks are intelligent and start taking ownership of what they've created, things start happening to them. If blacks try to form and bring other blacks together, things happen to them. The game is rigged. And they give us a month to reflect on this, but do we really get an opportunity to reflect? Not really. They give us the month, but they don't actually. I personally don't believe they actually do a great job at helping to support the remembrance of Black history. It's one thing to give a culture a month, but do you actually help promote it? Do you actually help support it? If you really feel like, I feel like if America really felt like what they did to the black race was wrong, one way to show accountability is to consciously support the effort to rewrite your wrongs. That's just my opinion. So one of the ways to rewrite the wrongs is these black inventors. I shouldn't have to go on YouTube to find out about these black inventors. You should consciously try to put this information in the curriculum for the young adults to learn. All right, because all I ever learned about was like the Tom Edisons and stuff like that, Albert Einstein and things like that. I never learned about these names. And there's a reason for that. Because why would they want, and when I say they, I'm talking about America, why would America, and this is not a campaign against America, because I'm proud to be an American, because I've been to other places, and trust me, I'm proud to be an American. So let's not make this about, oh, go back to wherever you came from if you don't like America. This is not I'm not slandering America, but this is about accountability. Again, if America was really accountable for what it's done to black people in this country, they would do their best to right their wrongs consciously. But they don't want to. Why? Because why would they want black people to think highly of themselves? That's what it really comes down to. And I'm sorry if this video is taking a different direction, but maybe it's necessary that it takes another direction. Why would they want us to feel highly of ourselves, right? And they did a great job of setting the tone. And unfortunately, many of us are so ignorant, we maintain it for them. So they don't really have to do much work to destroy us, because we're doing a great job of destroying ourselves. And yes, I'm digressing, but it's necessary at this point. Because when I watch this stuff and then I think about what's going on in this country and what's been going on in this country, I'm seeing how we help perpetuate the ignorance. But let me go to the next video. This is actually the final video that I have queued up.
Let me tell you how this black man went from high school dropout to one of the most prolific engineers in NASA history. This guy designed and successfully engineered toilets that would work in zero-gravity environments. Meet Bob Sherney, one of the greatest black inventors you've probably never heard of. Born in Dublin, Georgia in 1921, Bob had a tough childhood. He lost his mom at 9 years old. He dropped out of school to help feed his family during the Great Depression. And even after making it to college, Bob was drafted by the Army and sent to Europe during World War II. My guy couldn't catch a break, but Bob was built different. He had raw talent for building and designing things. And when he returned from service, he got a job as a maintenance man at a black hospital in Nashville, Tennessee, where the hospital's medical director saw his skills and encouraged him to go back to college. And this is where things get interesting. When a coworker told Bob that he was too old and it was too late, Bob took that personally.
And it became personal with me.
He got his degree in physics and engineering from Tennessee State University. He got a job at the Hydrographic Naval Office in Washington, D.C. He secured a job at NASA's Marshall Space Flight Center in Huntsville, Alabama. And then he started inventing stuff. Bob Sherney designed and engineered the wheels for NASA's lunar rover. Yes, that's literally his invention on the moon. That's insane. His technology was so ahead of its time that it's still in use on the International Space Station to this day. Nah, this guy was a genius. Bob Sherney, from high school dropout to absolute legend.
All right, I'm not going to spend too much time on this, folks. Again, in light of Black History Month, but we need, as a community, we need to make this law. What I'm about to say, we need to make this law. We are not defined by hip hop, and as much as I love rap music, we're not defined by that. We're not defined by how good we can dance, how good we can bounce a ball, how good we can throw a ball or catch a ball. We're more than that. All right. Now I know that's all that's publicized out there. That's what we're known for. You know, some of the biggest names out of our community are entertainers, but we're more than that. And one video that I didn't queue up was a video about the inventor of the refrigerated mobile system that's been allowing the transportation of produce. That's something that's major Black creation. Again, that was a Black inventor who created the refrigeration system, the mobile refrigeration system, so that we could transport produce, milk, things that need to remain in cold temperature. Major invention. Never heard about him in school. Never heard about him. You know, I encourage you all who watch this video to do your own due diligence. Hop on Google, hop on YouTube, and just research Black inventors. Do your own due diligence. But what you need to learn from this video is that we're brilliant. But now it's time to show our brilliance, not perpetuate what social media wants us to perpetuate. We know we could dance. We don't need to see another a new black dance, a new black TikTok challenge. We've mastered that. All right. We've had Michael Jackson already. We have Chris Brown. We don't need the rest of us joining in on TikTok dances. Now I know it sounds like, oh, it sounds real militant. Well, we've been playing around long enough. You know, our ancestors are rolling over in the grave. All right. It's time to show our brilliance. We're brilliant. Someone who's watching this right now, you have a young, maybe it's your child, maybe it's one of your children that might be the next inventor, might be the next doctor, lawyer. We got to continue to aspire for greatness, because I'm sorry, social media, I'm not seeing greatness, and I'm not saying, and I believe that it's intentional, it's strategic, but what I see when I go on social media is not, I don't see Black excellence. I see buffoonery. But until we realize that we are pawns in the game, and we're also perpetuating our downfall, it'll just continue. But I don't want to end on a downer, so I'm just going to leave it like this. I'm proud of those black inventors, male and female. Proud of their accomplishments, and I just want us to continue to learn and aspire for greatness. And I'm gonna leave it like that. As always, I appreciate all of you for watching my content. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode. Take care.